Alternative, hipster, live in Brunswick, tattoos.
So do you live up to that?
I feel not that particular person. I feel like I do need to be like more fire.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. No, it changes your personality.
Whenever you good to go.
So Shallon's got to leave.
Yeah, sorry, I gotta leave guys. Really great to meet you guys. I look forward to seeing your video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks Carla and Charlene. See ya.
Everyone, so clearly I'm here to talk about something really deep and meaningful: passion, purpose, and fulfillment. This is probably one of the biggest questions that we'll ever face in our lifetime. How do we find what we're passionate about? What is our purpose? And how do we, find something fulfilling and meaningful in our work lives? I just want to call out that this is a really subjective experience that we're all going to have to go through individually. So what I share with you today isn't necessarily right or the only way to do it, but it's drawn from my personal experience. I really hope that you'll be able to take something away from it today and apply it into your lives. But these three words: passion, purpose, and what do these words mean to you guys? When I ask you, when you look at these words, what does it mean, or why is it important?
When I think about what is the meaning of life, these are sort of words that came from it as well.
What does it mean to you, or have you ever wondered or pondered about these things?
Definitely. Yeah. And that's what it's hard. I think it's about being happy, right? And then trying to find the right things that make you happy. Contentment.
Yeah.
From my perspective, when you think about these higher goals in your life, and you think about kind of lasting impact you'll have in your lifetime, you're going to be living for yourself, or living for something greater than yourself. And how are you going to achieve that through your career?
Thanks for sharing. Well, to me, when I look at these three words, I see passion as something for you, and purpose is for others. Whereas passion makes you happy, it's something that you're interested in. But when you use, your passion and what you're interested in to serve others and to bring value into their lives, that's a purpose. And when you start living your purpose, that's when you start to get a sense of fulfillment in your life. Like I said, we're getting pretty deep.
So is it like passion is one circle, and purpose is another? Like a Venn diagram. Fulfillment is that.
It's the happy medium. Have you ever heard of something called Ikigai? Ikigai is a Japanese, methodology that talks about how you can find meaning in life. I won't go into it today, but it supplements well with this. I realize I don't have too much time, so can I move on? Okay, so these are cliches you've seen all of these splattered across a poster with a dude probably standing on top of the mountain and hanging off a rock, right? Yeah, you don't live to work, you work to live. Or another one, you never get so busy making a living, you forget to make a life. Choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. And we're not born to just pay bills and die. Woo-woo, right? When you look at these quotes, they all make sense. But they don't really tell you, one, how. And the question that pops up to my mind when I look at these quotes is, why do they even exist in the first place? Why do these quotes even exist in the first place? And live to work, you work to live. We're not born to just pay bills and die. Well, maybe when I look at these quotes and ask myself that question, why do they exist? It's probably a call out to those people who are just working to live. Right? They've forgotten to make a living, make a life, and they're too busy making a living. They're just in the rat race, working to pay bills, working towards the edge of retirement, and then to eventually die. Why does that happen? I think we make a mistake, and I guess this is something that we've all been taught, and this is we don't really know too much better. We go through school, prep, high school, work towards getting a good ATAR, working towards that grad job, so that we can establish ourselves and get a good career, so that we can buy property, so we can get married and have kids, and then work until we can retire, and then perhaps go on a couple holidays, and then we die. So we've been lured into thinking that the purpose of life is success, and success is a list of boxes to be checked. Even if we can admit to ourselves that we aren't fulfilled checking the boxes, all too often we cling to them because that's all we know. Yeah, I was, end of financial year, we're all doing our taxes, and I was sitting with my accountant. I'd taken a day off work to go and visit him out in Mulgrave, and while he was, I guess, looking at my invoice and we were just having a chat, he was like, "Dude, you do a lot of training outside of work," and I was like, "Yeah, I like to do a few things here and there." I had a few invoices from Udemy, some invoices for like speaking coaching, life coaching, whatever else that I was interested in, I just paid for, and I could claim that back on tax. So I go, "Yeah, like I have all these interests outside of work," and he goes, "Dude, it's been such a long time since I've been able to do any other training aside from accounting, things that are related to accounting, things that are related to tax, And I go, "Well, what else are you interested in? Why don't you get trained in other things?" And he's like, "Oh no, I can't, I don't have time." I was like, "Well, surely you could take some time away to step away from the business," because this was his accounting firm. "Surely you could take some time to step away from the business because it's quite established now, to pursue other things." And he goes, "Oh, who would look after the business anyway? And I'm just around the corner from retirement, so I might as well just keep working because the family's depending on me. I have young kids." And to me, that seems kind of sad, Well, sad to me because we only have one life. And when I listen and hear that, it's a call out to me saying, well, how many days do we have, I guess? Well, I heard a quote recently. Is it like 80,000 days? 80,000 hours, in our lifetime? Yeah, and that's not a lot when you think about it. And if you're, I guess, doing something just for the sake of doing it, even when you know that it's not fulfilling you, and you're not really living your best life on a day-to-day basis, then you're kind of wasting your opportunity, this gift of life that you've been given. And look, the mistake that we all make is that we end up looking for a career before listening to a calling, right? Listening for a calling. And the funny thing is that as millennials entering the workforce, this is stuff that we really, really care about. We care about what, doing something that we're passionate about, or working with a purpose, or making a difference. And so I went on a quick search, and I took screen grabs from NAB, and this one's from Accenture. Now when I look at this, and I go, work with passion, work with NAB, do you reckon I'm gonna find what I'm passionate about at NAB? I mean, I work at NZ right now, I'm consulting there, and I can tell you that place sucks your soul away. It sucks your soul away, really. Like, you lose your creativity, and you just become the same as everybody else working in that office, trying to climb up that ladder. And the same as Accenture, right? I mean, all good companies, but am I going to get an opportunity to be myself, be my authentic, real self at a company like Accenture? And am I going to make a difference here that is meaningful to the gifts that I have as a person? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe our purpose in life has nothing to do with what we do for a living. Maybe our purpose is really about living authentically and discovering who we are. So I want to introduce you to two of my favorite philosophers. And I've got a couple quotes from them that here knew Bruce Lee was a philosopher? Yeah, Bruce Lee is a mad philosopher. So,
I can see that.
sorry?
He was injured for a while.
Yeah, he was.
All the time to just write down.
Yeah. So Bruce Lee isn't just a Hollywood actor. He's not just a martial artist. He's a mad philosopher. Like, he came up with his own martial arts as well. Yeah. So the guy was like, he was ahead of his time. This is one of my favorite quotes from him. And he was doing an interview with a talk show dude. He did Martin Charles. You can see the video on YouTube. Really old school video. I'll read it out to you. And keep in mind, Bruce Lee was a bit fob as well, right? So he couldn't speak English properly. And he goes, honestly expressing yourself, it's very difficult to do. I mean, it's easy for me to put on a show and be cocky and then feel like pretty cool. Or I can make all kind of phony things, you see what I mean? Blinded by it. Or I can show you some really fancy movement. He just punches, and he's sitting on a chair with this white beard, and and this is the line that I really want to call out. But to express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, now that, my friend, is very hard to do. This is another philosopher that I really, really love listening to and reading. I came across him on a podcast called On Being, and this is the most listened to podcast on that show, so check it out. Really, really good podcast. And the quote goes, so many people are frightened by the wonder of their own presence. They're dying to tie themselves into a system of role, a predetermined identity that other people have actually settled on for them. This identity may be totally at variance with the wild energies that are rising inside their souls. Many of us get very afraid and we eventually compromise. We settle for something that is safe rather than engaging the danger and the wildness that is within our own hearts. We should never forget that death is waiting for us. Now, he speaks to those check boxes that I was alluding to before in the previous slides, right? And I love the parallel that these two philosophers draw. So one talks about, I guess, how easy it is to be a phony, to be a fake, to hide behind this facade that we think other people want to see. And this guy here is talking about the cost that has of hiding behind that facade, and that, we settle for something that is safe if we hide behind that, rather than engaging with the danger and the wildness, the beauty that's within us.